Good morning. I thought I would come on again while I was getting ready because I had some foods for thought for you. And that being that even if it feels like you're not making progress, you are. Even just, I know that there are like some people that'll say, well, thinking about it is not doing it. But it's almost like some of us need that time to make the shift. We have to have the time to get our mind and soul and body ready for the shift, or especially if you've gone through some things, the time to process. And I feel like I'm being vague. But it's like you've got to get right with yourself, because what's going on in my circumstances, we'll just use me as an example. You know, I've just had this big move. A lot of stuff happened over the last few months, and this huge shift in just the way I was being, the way I was living, the way I was working, just like, because especially if you're self-employed and your self-employment is something that you have created or you have built, it is a reflection of you somewhat, you know, depending on what you do. I mean, some people, they've built a business that's impersonal, nothing wrong with that, but you know, where it doesn't really have a reflection on who they are. If you're like, you built your own tax business or something, you know, but then again, it can. So it is kind of, but it's easy to be hard on yourself and tell yourself that you're not progressing when you are, because I was just, if you're not familiar with the Marco Polo app, it's like a texting app, but with little videos. So my sister and I have been Marco Poloing back and forth because we can't, our timelines don't always match up where we can talk on the phone. So, we have been Marco Poloing each other, and I was just like telling her how I got all the boxes open in my office. I think I did a couple I did a couple videos from my office where I was working on that. And so I was sharing with her that, you know, even though I've gotten all this stuff done, I started to say, I feel like I'm not progressing. I feel like I have to have all of these things set up to start. And then I like had to put myself in check and say, no. You already started. You know, I'm not giving myself credit for that, the bandwidth that it takes. I know some people can get in there and just like go. But for me, and maybe if you're like me, it takes, like I said, bandwidth to not only process what you're setting up and how you're wanting things to go forward, especially if you're being intentional with your life, your work, your business, and you want it to feel and flow naturally, then it can take a moment. It takes time to get through that. And I think a lot of times we can be so hard on ourselves. I can be so hard on myself that, you know, I didn't just get it done, you know. And there was a person very close to me that unintentionally said something that kind of stung and stuck, right? And I had to say, like, stop. You know, I did say something immediately. But we had been here like 3 weeks. And I was talking to, I'm not going to mention who it is, somebody I love and care about, and that loves and cares about, whoopsies, alarm went off. And they said, because I was like, oh, I'm still getting this done, da 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 da. And they said, oh, I would have expected you had everything pretty much settled by now. Like, it's been 3 weeks. I'm one person. So no, because now it's been 6 weeks. We got here mid-July. Mid-June. And we're in the, I don't know, the 20s or something, 26th, 27th of July. And I'm still not everything the way I want it. I mean, look at this right here. So that being said, like I was saying to my sister, like, I feel like I'm going to get my office set, and then I'm going to go down to the basement and I'm going to go through this inventory and like weed things out. And it's like, and then I can start. But it's like, no, that's whole part of the process of getting to, it feels like that's the start, but it's not, and I think that's it. Like some people feel like, no, I have to get everything just right, just ready, and then I can get to work. And I think I'm like that. And so, but I think that when we do that to ourselves, we kind of negate ourselves because there are people that can just jump right in and like they can work and then they can get stuff done in the meantime, which is totally something I could do. My brain doesn't work that way. I would feel so scattered if I, like just turn my shops back on and everything is just willy-nilly, like all over the place, and nothing is like, yeah, I could find it if I need it, like dig around, find the boxes, dig around, find the packing supplies, dig around. I finally got the printer set up though. Go me. But I know for me, that would create chaos in my life. If it was something that was like, I have to do this, financially, it's just not feasible always. I had somebody mention that to me yesterday, and it was a very sweet message someone sent me. I get the sweetest messages, you guys. I need to share. Well, not share the private messages that I get unless people give me permission, but I did want to share with you that I was so excited yesterday when I unpacked the office that I found I have a tote, because I started a scrapbook when I started YouTube. And it's not exactly a scrapbook, it's like a journal, but I have kept everything that everyone has ever sent to me. And I have all of these really sweet cards and letters from people. I did the same thing when I was teaching public school. I had a whole like file drawer full of notes and letters and drawings from my students because you have those days where you start doubting that you're doing a good job. And it's nice to pull that out and see. I actually did that. Where'd it go? Oh, it's right there. I'll show you. Where you start doubting your value and you start doubting what kind of impact you've had on people's lives. And that has, I feel like a pull in that direction. I feel like while teaching public school wasn't something I initially wanted to do, that's a whole story for another time, but my sister and I are going to talk about that on our podcast. It was like a path I had to go down to figure out this path that I'm on now, to figure out how much it feeds my soul to hear stories of, and I don't appreciate it as much as, no, I take that back. I do appreciate it. What's the wording I want to say? When I get messages of people saying these things were going on in my life and I saw, I found you on YouTube and I started this and it has turned my life around, or I started and it's not 100% there yet, but I can see it's coming, just that financial independence or just having that bit of breathing room, and it meant so much. It means so much to me to hear those stories because we all start second guessing not our value. Well, yeah, sometimes especially if you work in a place either where you're isolated or where you've got coworkers and bosses that don't see your value, which unfortunately as teachers can happen a lot. It's when they say it's a selfless job, they ain't kidding. And I've had really good administrators that really took the time to let teachers know and staff and everybody there that they were valued and that what they did mattered. And then I had some that just, they saw numbers and that was it, because they were on a path up the ladder, and that's all that matters up the ladder is the numbers. I just want to say thank you. And And the message that I got yesterday was one of those stories, but also was saying something to me about my finances. And they even said, I know I'm assuming, but if, some of you know my story and some of you don't. I was, a public school teacher for 15 years, 14 and a half. And then I was, in part of that time married, and then I stayed home with the kids for a little bit. When my eldest started kindergarten, I quit teaching. And that was the time when I realized I'm not a stay-at-home mom, husband provides kind of woman. And there's nothing wrong with that, especially if you have the right man. But two things, the way I was raised was never be dependent on someone else financially, because it can destroy you, if things go wrong. You will be so screwed, so screwed. And there were many, family members that we had witnessed that with. So having seen that and having the experience of the person I was married to at the time, where I didn't feel like I could come and say, can I have money for a coffee? Or I would have to ask for money and then be grilled like, why, what, how, what? And I'm like, oh, this ain't gonna work. Nope. And that's when I started reselling. That's when I started, just saying, what, I want $200 a week so that I can go get a coffee without having that, conflict just for a cup of coffee. And that's the thing. It's like when you find your path and you just release that resistance to what feels right in your soul, then I was telling my sister that it's like this stream that carries you along, and you'll start feeling those tugs. And at first it's a lot harder to distinguish between the flow and the tugs, and people pulling you in the way they want you to pull over here. They want you to pull over here, and even going forward, that's, I got off the path recently, and I started going in a way that didn't feel authentic for me. It was still in my same realm, but things started just feeling really out of control and chaotic. And that just wasn't right for me. An alarm keeps going off. Not to say that there wasn't a lot of really good things going on at that time, but when you start finding that flow, things are going to come more naturally. And I feel like that's kind of where this shift in everything for me has been coming from, because it's like it's like, oh yeah, here's that stream. I was lost in the woods for a while, but I found it, and here I am. And I don't like the feeling of being out of alignment with myself. I don't like feeling, I need to say that again. Hello. I don't like feeling out of alignment with myself and my purpose and my soul. And I don't like feeling that way. And so I don't want to feel like that anymore. And if that, whatever that brings, I say good, bad, and ugly, but it's only my perception, it's good. It's all good. If it's bad, then the bad will fall away. That's what my sister keeps reminding me. It's okay, that which is that which is meant for you will not pass you by. And that which is not meant for you will fall away. So, and maybe, I don't know. But my finances, coming back to that, the flow of things took me here. And yes, it started off with $200 a week. But the flow for me was that, stopping teaching. And then the whole experience of like, no, I need to make my own money. And then the thrifting. And then, or I started with garage sales, really. And then just slowly started reselling. I started on Etsy. I didn't even get on eBay for the first couple of years, I think. And then getting on YouTube, because like, no, I didn't know anybody that did what I did. Like, I didn't even know it was a thing. Like, that's how clueless I was. I have my first videos still up. I think maybe I took down 1 or 2 of my first videos, but I didn't even know there was like a whole community out there. At the time there wasn't a whole lot of reseller content out there. There was like maybe 10 or 20 people, possibly, maybe not even that many that I knew of. So I started that because I wanted to talk about what I was doing. I was so excited about it, and nobody understood. They were like, what? You what? And then, so that evolved, and then I met people from doing that. And then that's how I started doing print on demand, because I met people in that realm that were doing both. And then I met people that were like, hey, you should learn about affiliate stuff. And then I would get companies that would ask me, hey, you know, why don't you promote our stuff? And so it was just like slowly, it just kind of, and it's been like 10 years now. How old are you? My oldest is 15 now, so 10 years. And I would say up until probably 2019, so maybe halfway through, was I able to finally say, you know what? I can leave my husband. I couldn't before that. I couldn't. And probably not until now. Things happen in time. I don't like to, I mean, they do. They happen in the time they have to happen. And I wouldn't be able to have taken this kind of break from the reselling aspect, yeah, the YouTube too, if things had not aligned in my life the way they did to get me to where I am now, you know, to put me in the place that I need to be in each phase of my life. So yeah, don't be hard on yourself. And then there were very hard times for me, as many of you know if you've followed me for a while, because when I started I was still married. And so this, you know, this whole thing has gone from when I first started, through a marriage, a divorce, a move to Austin, to COVID, to after COVID, to, you know, just like, it's a whole progression of life and how it needed to be and where we are and where we need to be. I did want to share this with you about the positives and negatives, because I was getting down on myself. No, I don't want to say down on myself. I will say I want to make sure that the way I'm responding to people is here, you know, with me. And I think some of it has, especially in print, gets misconstrued. People put their own tone or their own perception on the words that you say when you write them out, and they don't get to look in your eyes and hear your voice and feel you. And so there have been a few negative comments and a few people trying to banter with me, I guess. And I was like, well, one, I want to make sure I'm coming from a place of response and not reaction. And two, like, I went through and I was like, but why do those negative things stick out for us so much? And so I went through, and there were 2 posts and 1 video that I was like, I'm going to go and I'm going to tally all the positive comments and all the negative comments, and let's see how they stack up. This is the positives and this is the negatives. Though I counted them out, it's like 103 positives and 5 negatives, or negative leaning comments. And I think the negatives, now troll, like BS, like ugly, just nonsense stuff, I don't even count, because it's just like, bleh, whatever. But if it seems like it's coming from somebody who has a soul, you know, I think part of it is, one, a reflection of them, but also what I think the reason sometimes it might trigger is either like you want to correct somebody because it's not who you are, or there's something else that, like, maybe it's something I need to examine. And that's why I tell people, like, I'm not upset. And they're like, you sound mad. I'm like, I'm not mad. So anyway, don't be hard on yourself. And you can't see my thing here, but I have a shelf. I'm sure I'll be showing it to y'all, eventually. We're getting there. The podcast my sister and I are doing is a lot more of our spiritual, self-discovery, it's not self-improvement. It's like coming into alignment with yourself. I mean, self-improvement just sounds so hokey. I mean, of course you want to improve yourself, but I wanted to share with you, we like cards and inspiration cards and like oracle type, manifestation type cards. We use them as she likes to call it, as biofeedback. Like, it's not, I know some people are like, that's getting a little woo-woo for me, but it's just something that she and I like to use, and then we sit and talk about it. And actually our first podcast on eggs and ego, which is up. We got the second one recorded, but it's not up yet. The first one, we actually end up doing our moon cards, which is something that I thought we would not never share, but I thought it would take a while for us to get there where we share it. But we do these moon cards, and we've done these for years with each other when we feel out of alignment, or when we feel like we just need feedback, you know. And so this is these Moonology Oracle cards. They're super fun. And I love them. And it not only, it's not like it's not like a fortune telling thing at all. It's like a jumping off point for us to reflect and a jumping off point for us to discuss with each other. And we've had some amazing deep conversations. And that's one of the things where I was like, we need to be doing this with people. I'm going to pull a card for you. We do spreads and things like that too, like for other stuff. But sometimes we'll just do what she likes to call our super card, or pick a card for the day just to see. This is the one I pulled for you. This is Waxing Moon. It says the energy is gaining momentum. And the artwork on these are so pretty. So I feel like this is a good card for us today, because the energy is gaining momentum towards what we're trying to accomplish, which is getting everything squared away, getting everything back on track, realigning with our souls, realigning with our hearts. And then I have these that I got these I got just recently, and they're so pretty because you guys know how I love rocks and crystals. Look at the back of them. Look at. And then here's your rock for the day, or your mineral. Oh, we got the sunstone, and I'm going out in the sun today. It says, take pleasure in the things you do. Take pleasure in the things you do, you guys. Pardon me. Yeah, I just got these. They're so pretty, aren't they? And each one has like a different stone. Unakite. I forever couldn't say that. I would always say uncanite. I don't know why. Maybe I'm dyslexic too. Anyway, beautiful cards. Beautiful, beautiful cards. I love my rocks. And then, you see, and I got these, and I keep meaning to show all the stones that I got. I got these at a garage sale this past weekend, and I'm learning, because I've always called it selenite, and it's not. It's satin spar. So I have to correct myself, and I have to learn the difference. And why is it that all the shops and everywhere always calls it selenite? I don't know, but that's what I was looking for. So I got it. All right, we are going out today, and maybe I'll shoot some video, because we are going to go to some thrift stores in Colorado Springs, and I'm sending you much, much love today, you guys. And yeah, hearts to you. This is the new thing, right? Hearts to you. Mwah, mwah. Thought I'd give you a quick tour of my area where I keep all my pretties, my pretty stuff. Has all kinds of fun little things here. I got 2 notes from my kids. They were love notes to me. Dear Mom, I love you. Love you, Mom. This is I think it was an ashtray of my grandmother's, but I just place meaning on different stuff. Got my octopus. Some really cool things. This, I think, was also something that was my grandmother's. I got this piece of art at the Renaissance Festival here. Isn't it cool? Some different things. I've thrifted this. Got some cool different stones. This really cool satin spar. Take a look at this. See, it's like the TV rock. There we go. There's another name for that. I can't think of what it is right now. And I have these two. I got these, I thrifted these, and I want to wear them, but something's like holding me back. So I have them here so I can think about it. And then here is just my little tower. I need to go get one of these for Elaine. I got that at World Market. Isn't it cute? My pendulums are down there. There's my Phoenix. I have pictures of it all lit up. And some of my beads over here. And then I've got some different, there's my favorite. My sister gave me that labradorite. And this rock, I can't remember where I found it, but I always call it my new moonstone for new beginnings. And I set them up that way for why? I don't know. Something in the universe told me to do that. There's us. My sister made this. And then I just unpacked this, and I'd given it to my son, but then he didn't want it anymore, so I put it in here. There's my runes, which I'm just starting to learn more about. Pardon. And then, yeah, I've got some incense, which is not always my favorite. And that I know it's not selenite, but I'm gonna call it selenite tower up there. Also, I'd gotten that at a garage sale a while back, given it to my son, and he decided he didn't want it anymore. I got that when we went to New Mexico one time. Me and the kids, I love that little buffalo. My little drawers, I love it, looks like a log. This is from a Fortnite, like piñata, but I love that it lit up, made me laugh, so. And then up there is all some fun other stuff. I got these, I think at a thrift store as well. Aren't they cool? So there's that. And then this is my big chest, not that big chest. And I got this at a garage sale. I think I paid $200 or $300 for it. And there, I do have the missing knob, and I could fix it, but something tells me to leave it off as a reminder of things that are unknown and the mysteries of life. Is that dorky? But yeah, I have a lot of stuff, so some of them I keep in drawers. I painted that at one of those painting places. And then I have my, I don't know how messy it is over here, but this is my Tower O stuff, because I've slowly been getting more cards. So lots of cards, more rocks over here, and that I used to throw stones on and stuff. And this is my TV area. Like I've got my gator on one side, got my tiger on the other side, just like my tattoos. And then I've got some candlesticks that I pull out. These I got at, they're Pottery Barn, but I got them at the Ark thrift store. And then this cool thing I got for 50 cents at a garage sale. It's a glass sculpture, and I have a little light under it. I'll have to show you how it looks. And there's this side over here with the other one. Kill. So here's this glass piece I wanted to show you. I got this for 50 cents at a garage sale, and my sister introduced me to these little lights that you can put around to create really cool mood lighting. And so I put this there so that, you know, my room at night could be really cool and peaceful. I have the little lights in lots of different places around the house, but it's just really nice. You can change the colors depending on your mood. This one also has a where you can, it flows from one color to the next, but I'll link what they are down below if you're interested. They're just really fun. I have them, like I said, all over in different spots in the house. So yeah, y'all, thanks for hanging out today, and I really hope you have a fantastic day. I am sending you lots of love, and just have a really, really good day.